All right, I'm going to call to order this EORC commission meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from May? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from May, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Earl. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. All in favor indicate by saying aye or raising your hand if your screen's on. Is that enough?
Yes, it is.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Minutes are approved. Let's move on to the plans for this different housing authority. Ronaldo, you're up. This is 01, audio, video training and production program.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for having us and just giving us the opportunity to present these plans to you. So for the first one we have is the audio video training and production program. This is a 5-year contract and in the amount of $493,000. The prime on this project is Machine Age, and they will be providing audio video training to youth and adults at the Northview Heights Estates and the Bedford Envision Center. The WBE commitment that they have is at 45%, and they do not have an MBE amount. In their initial proposal, they did submit an MBE. However, when I spoke to him, he is currently going through the process of obtaining his certification. He's getting together his financial documents. So that is why that's at a 0%. So that's where we're at right now with that. But, you know, I can answer any questions that any of you may have.
So this MBE that's going for his participation, or I'm sorry, his certification, once he's certified, that'll make up 10% of this contract, correct?
Correct.
My only question is the WBE, what is the nationality of the WBE? So is the WBE African American? That's basically what I'm asking you, is it in terms of who's the total group?
No, they're not both, Commissioner. They're just a WBE.
Okay.
And I feel like with the 10% that should be coming sooner rather than later, in my opinion, it's not worth holding up this contract, but I'll leave it up to the commissioners to have comments here.
I agree, and just would like that reflected in the minutes that we were informed of this pending MBE certification.
Yeah, sure. That would be included.
Thank you.
So I have a question also. Has the process of the MBE in regards to certification just started, or has he been in the process?
So he's currently in the process. He was telling me that he's getting together like his W-2 information and working with his accountant for all of his financial documents.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from commissioners? No. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving this contract indicate by saying aye. Raise your
Aye.
hand. Okay. Okay, motion approves. Let's move on to the next plan, which is 02.
All right, the second plan is for our constable services. The primes, we have 2 primes for this project. They are PA Constable Antoine P. Malloy Sr. and Malloy Legal Services. They have worked with the Housing Authority before. It's a 5-year contract in the amount of $586,560. They will provide eviction services, removal of property, and delivering of any legal documentation, along with any other services. The MBE amount is 10.2% and the WB is 4%. Initially, Mr. Malloy, when he had submitted his bid, he did have more MWBEs. However, a couple of them are still going through the certification as process as well.
Okay. So all these companies that are listed here are DBEs, which that's awesome that they were able to split it up and share the wealth that way. And I also was told on my call that they're all from Pittsburgh. They're all local.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, commissioners, do you have any questions for Renelda?
Renelda, so I'm familiar with a few of the companies on here in terms of being engaged with Riverside. Is there opportunity for them to get more percentages of contracts moving forward, being that it's a 5-year kind of commitment here?
It possibly, I mean, I guess that would depend on the agreement between the prime and the subs on there. But I guess, you know, however he sees fit in utilizing most of them, but I'm pretty sure that there could be an opportunity for him to be able to utilize them in other capacities to increase the percentage.
It's harder for us to forecast what type of usage we're going to have for this. I know the bulk of the previous contract was used up breaking up Club Chauncey, which was the COVID party up in the north, up on the Northview. So things like that. It was kind of just the constable going up himself. So it all depend on moving forward, because I think some of these are doing like for lockouts, they'll clean or plaster repair and things like that. So depending on what task Constable Malloy or Malloy Legal was given, they could increase or decrease. But that would be tracked, as Renelda tracks with quarterly reports that get sent to you all, I believe, on a quarterly basis to show the actual spend versus the commitment spend, to make sure that we are at least meeting what we said we would meet.
Yeah, that's so important. We really appreciate that follow-up. You know, we don't want to, we're that nasty word pass through. We're really trying to police that. You guys do a good job. We appreciate that. Commissioners, do you have any more questions for Brandon or Renelda regarding this plan? No? Okay. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that this plan is approved.
Great. Can I get a second?
A second.
All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Awesome. Moving right along. Okay. 03. Okay, so Renelda, I was told that this is one of your work order contracts. So they're unique in and of themselves.
This is the rollover container services, Commissioner. This is the one before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is this the one from last month?
Yes, this is the one that we kind of tabled and brought back, and they upped the percentage 18% on this. So it was 0 and 0 last month, and now they upped to 18, which is really well.
Okay.
Yep. And so this is
For myself, I appreciate that they got taken to school and came back and did some work here. But go ahead, Renelda.
So this is for a roll-off contract. Again, it's a 5-year agreement. The prime is Republic Services, and the MBE is Boyd Roll-off. So we do have a background, or they've worked with the Housing Authority previously before, so we do have that relationship with them. They will be disposing of municipal waste and debris for HACP. And so again, they were able to get to the 18%, which is obviously hitting our goal. And but the WBE amount is at 0%.
I mean, in our defense, though, I think this is pretty good for a dumpster service to have any participation at all. So,
Yeah, because it's a self-performed contract, correct?
correct.
Correct.
Commissioners, you have any questions for them?
I'm just taking your word that it's hard to get WBE on these contracts.
Well, and another thing that's difficult is splitting up this contract because it's a self-performed contract. So the prime that was awarded the contract really technically could do the whole thing themselves. The fact that they broke anything off is just showing a good faith effort for their commitment to our mission.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk that they absorb about not having a dumpster placed or pulled in time because they could get hit with liquidated damages.
Yeah,
So
insurance.
them willing to work with an MBE or even any partner whatsoever is pretty good sign of their commitment.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, Andrea, you want a second?
Sure.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All righty, that motion is approved. We are moving on to number 4. This is the one that's a work order, correct?
Yeah, this is the one that they are doing the alarm, the fire sensitive and the testing, yes.
Go ahead, Renata.
So again, this is the prime is the Allegheny service. And due to the scope of the project, there is no MWBE participation. They will supply one technician to assist an HACP employee in testing and inspecting fire alarms. So I did speak to Mr. Davies, who is the prime contractor on this project, just to see if we could find any way to utilize or bring in an MWBE. He did. There is a Hispanic woman who does his invoicing. However, she is not certified. And so we were trying to see if we would be able to like incorporate that, get the numbers, but unfortunately she wasn't certified.
Yeah, this is another tough one because it's literally a guy with a device and a clipboard checking our security alarms and fire alarms. Or I'm sorry, fire alarms and emergency lights.
This may have been one that you could have asked for a waiver. I'm not sure if it's that specific to one human that's doing all of this work. It may have been a candidate for that. Chuck, what are your thoughts?
Yes, it could have been, Commissioner. It could have been a candidate for a waiver. I agree with you. It could have came in and we could have, we probably could have gave this a waiver. But I'm glad that they brought it to us as a body so everybody can see it, so.
Well, also too, if we do it this way and the bookkeeper does become certified, then we can update the participation with the quarterly reports that we send over at any time in the next 5 years.
Leave it up to the commissioners.
Can I just ask, oh, this is 5 years. One guy with a clipboard for $388,000 seems like, I don't know, I'm just trying to get my head around.
Yeah,
That's over a 5-year span. That almost hits our what is that? That's like, what, 60,000 a year? Maybe 65,000 a year?
Yeah, it's, we pay them 75,000 for the technician to come do all the paperwork and file it with the city and everything.
Yeah.
And what's the waiver requirement or threshold?
The waiver requirement would come into play because there's only one person really doing this work for them. It's just one-on-one with a member of the housing authority with one of their members, one of the Allegheny Services members.
Basically what they're saying is this contract and the way it's performed, the way the performance of it does not allow for it to be broken up. So what they're hoping to do is have their accountant be, a minority or woman-owned business, but they're not certified. Is that right? Is that what's happening here? Okay.
That is correct, yes.
So this Allegheny Service, they have an employee that goes around and checks these fire alarms and emergency lighting.
Right.
So for them to split, that's the only performance. That's the only work being performed. So for them to be able to split it up, they would have to split it up and get somebody else from another company to perform that testing. And I don't blame them for not being comfortable with that.
Right, it is an extensive liability risk
Yeah.
for them to have subbed out somebody to check our fire alarms.
They would
If
have to go
something
back
happened.
around and check on what was just checked.
Yeah,
And what would be the point of that? That would cost them a fortune. I mean, I understand it, and I know 0 and 0 is just a red flag for all of us. I get it. But I also understand professional services because I worked in that field and I understand what, like with liability and bonding and all of that, how that's why I said this possibly could have been for a waiver. But I do appreciate the fact that they're gonna try to outsource that accounting.
Well, is there a way we can put a little, sort of like a little encouragement that whatever she support that accountant in going through that process? Because it's not easy. And maybe if this business owner could really follow through on that offer, that would be great.
Brandon?
I guess I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry.
This, but I'm sorry, Brandon.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of how to answer that. I don't know.
I was also going to ask this as kind of a related question is normally we have these subs or primes on the call and we can sort of have this discussion with them. Today seems a little light on having any primes on the call.
Yeah, sometimes it is. So, I mean, I'll pull back the curtain a little bit here, but so this meeting happens before our actual board meeting. And it has happened in the past that we have brought something that the housing authority has decided to move in a different direction. And sometimes I don't want to, it can come across to a vendor that this is a commitment that a contract will actually be executed coming to a meeting like this, even though it hasn't passed the housing authority's board. And it's an uncomfortable position to be in should it not actually be awarded. and then they have this they're going through this whole process of sitting in this formal meeting and then not actually get a contract. And so, I mean,
Wow. Seems like a system problem here.
It's a time.
yeah, it's just the way it works. Your deadlines and our board deadlines meet at different times, right? Because they still, because your thresholds are the same as our internal thresholds that the Board of Commissioners that the mayor appoints have to approve. But we can definitely reach out and follow up with you. We can reach out to the Allegheny Service, Jason, and see what they are willing. But I mean, I did not speak to the bookkeeper, Renelda. I don't know if you got an opportunity to speak to her or not directly.
I have not. I've only just spoken to Mr. Davies.
Okay, well, that would probably be our first step, is talk to her directly and then gauge her actual interest in doing it, because it is a process that you do have to do a lot of work to get certified. And for that, I don't know, I don't think that if I had to guess, it would still be short of the goal anyway. I mean, it would be better than zero, but
Yeah.
I don't know how much better than zero it would be for what they charge to submit invoices and that sort of thing.
Brandon, I appreciate you explaining sort of the timing conundrum for you and bringing folks to this meeting. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I do just wonder if, if there's a way, I don't really understand the timing requirements, but, Chuck, is there, should this meeting be a different time? I don't know if we're talking days or weeks or months that.
Well, part of our award process is it has to get approved by you guys first anyway, right? So it's not like it's a frequent thing that happens, right? It's only in a rare instance, but we try to have vendors on here as much as possible, but it's actually, it seems to be more and more difficult to get them to commit to phone calls lately. I don't know why, but we could surely do better.
Well, especially if you are like super confident that it's going to pass through your board, invite them to be on. If it's something that you guys are concerned that it's not going to pass through your board, then maybe leave that one off. But Sarah, you see this execution date is 7/1. So as far as the timing is concerned, there's not much, there's not really a whole lot we can do about that.
Right.
We as a commission do not want to hold up work, especially when it's a safety issue with buildings. So, for us to push our approval process, but like have them get it approved from their board and then bring it to us, they're going to miss the execution date.
I agree. And this certainly in this case, it was just it's a bigger question about, how can we make sure we have our role is making an impact,
Also, we submitted this with 0 and 0. I mean, we're hopeful that there's more, but we don't count in eggs before they hatch, right? Or chickens before they hatch, so to speak.
Yep.
So we're presenting this to you as 0 and 0 and explaining that it is a technician that works with our property managers that walks around and tests it, and then they submit their testing to the city. And we're here to answer questions as to why this particular contract is difficult. For that reason, if you look just the plan or two previous before, we were able to get a roll-off company to commit to having an MBE, and that's what they do, is they do dumpsters, and they are willing to work with somebody. So, Renelda works her butt off, making sure that we get as much participation as we can, but just some instances are easier than others, and this one was difficult, unless they decided to let go their employee and try to find somebody that's 1099, and I don't really want to get into that.
Right. I sure don't mean to come off as critical. I just want, just
Yeah.
thinking about ways to improve the process all around. And I think you all do a great job and appreciate Ronaldo's efforts for sure.
Yeah, especially since you're the only one presenting to us.
What's
Yeah.
something we care about deeply over here. So
I know. Well, that certainly shows. All right, guys. What do you think? Can I get a motion?
I'll move it forward. So moved.
Thank you, Earl. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
1, 2.
James, you didn't say aye or nay.
Mine is a nay.
Yours is a nay?
I'm a nay also.
Andrea, you're the tiebreaker here.
Seconded, so,
Okay, well, there's 4-3,
all right.
passes.
All right, let's move on.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Housing Authority.
all right,
Thank
thank
you,
y'all.
guys.
Have a great one.
Thank
Enjoy your
you.
weekend.
Oh, this is the city. All right.
This is the city.
This is just amazing. Who's here from the city that's going to talk about this?
Hey, all. My name is Mike Mallock. I'm the Senior Project Manager, Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, and I'm happy to talk about this project.
Awesome.
And with me, I have from Vantage, Leanne, and I believe Bill is here as well.
Great.
Would you like me to offer a brief background on the project?
Not really. We just want to know how you got
Perfect.
this great participation.
Vantage is one of a handful of certified traffic signal electrical companies that certified through PennDOT that do work in the city, and they happen to be a WBE as well, which worked out great in this case. I've worked with Vantage before in other projects. I'm looking forward to hopefully doing so again.
So they, Vantage split up their WBE and broke off with Rayland Enterprises to get, yeah, explain this to me.
They have a MBE and a WBE on the contract. They have Ray Lynn as a WB also with them at 1.15% or at $6,275. And they also have an MBE on here at 1.98%. The total is 100%
Right.
MWBE.
So what part of the work, I'm just curious, what part of the work is Rayland Enterprises going to do in Butech?
Ray Lynn is a contractor that specializes in maintenance and protection of traffic.
Okay.
So when you see construction zones that have temporary signs, temporary equipment to assure that pedestrians and motorists are safely carried through the intersection during construction, that's what Ray Lynn will be involved with. And then in Butech, I would ask Bill or Leanne to comment on.
Are they here?
So I'm thinking that MDTech will be more or less on the electrical engineering side of it. I'm familiar with them as a company.
If I thought they were here, I apologize.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Lee. I'm sorry. I can't, for some reason, I can't speak through my computer. So I'm on this by cell phone. To meet some MBE participation, we were going to partner, subcontract and work through MUTech to do some of the signs for the sign on the project.
Okay.
So we're going to do, we have some signage for the traffic
Right.
that we'll work with them on.
Traffic signal signage.
Mhm. So both companies do that.
Pardon me?
Both companies do the signage, correct?
Ray Lynn is going to provide the arrow boards and the channelizers. They will do the initial setup of the MPT. And then what we'll do throughout the contract, as we move traffic patterns, Vantage Corporation ourselves will move the traffic patterns. And then at the end of the job, Raven will come in and remove their arrow boards and their channelizers. We'll be renting that equipment from them throughout the contract. And then for the permanent signs that we put in place, MUTEC will be putting those signage in place, like the stop signs, things like that. Now, typically we will do that work ourselves, but to help with MBE participation on the job, to help meet some of the goals with the city, I took that work that I typically do myself, and I put that with the MBE company to show the good faith effort to help meet some of those goals. But typically I would do that work myself. I wanted to try to do some of that work since I could not find an MBE in the paving work or in some of the concrete work, to try to help meet some of those goals.
Well, I mean, you guys were at 100 participation just on the prime. So, I mean, I can't speak for the whole commission, but I think it's amazing that you're breaking out just to help.
Yeah, so I was familiar with tech in terms of the electrical work, but I understand they have a construction arm as well. So I am happy to see them a part of the contract. Just moving forward, you know, I think we would just look for more MBE participation, but I understand that in terms of how we rate these contracts, you got a pretty good percentage on both as well right now. But, you know, we would look for, you know, how we can move forward with more MBE participation.
They need to be qualified for PennDOT is what they need to be.
Okay.
Okay.
This is like a little unique contract. Building work is a little different compared to heavy highway, just because it's just the type of the work that we're performing here. Where you have a little bit more opportunity when it's buildings, you have a little bit more trades that you can work with. It's just the type of work that we're performing.
You were looking for a PennDOT certification?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with the PennDOT 408 and you have to meet those qualifications a little bit more stringent because we're working within those guidelines.
James, is that something you're going to look into just for your own business to see what that requires, a PennDOT certification? That really could, your programs over there at Riverside could really utilize that.
Definitely. So that's what I was thinking in terms also of our DBRC as well.
That's wonderful.
Help them get certified.
Yeah. See what it entails. See how difficult it is, and if it's expensive, that kind of thing. Okay, I digress. I think this is great. That's my opinion. Commissioners, does anybody have any more questions? No? Sarah, you good?
Good.
Dr. Hall? Good? All right, cool. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve this plan.
Thank you. Second? Can I get, okay, thanks, James. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right. This motion is approved. Thank you, City.
Thank you, guys. Okay, next up is a brief ITQ update and any questions you might have for those. And we have a couple people on procurement if you do have any ITQ questions. Upasna?
So good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you for joining. And today we have 50 ITQ companies, and these are all for IT professional services. These are basically pre-bids to create a vendor pool. So as and when required, the city can go ahead by utilizing these companies for work orders. So I've basically classified these 50 companies into 6 groups. And the first group, if you look at sheet 1 here, there are 20 companies enlisted here. And so out of these 20 companies, there are 11 primes that are MWBs. And the remaining 9 are not MWBEs. But all of them, each one of them has enlisted sub-consultants which are certified MWBEs. And there are just 2 companies that have just one at least one sub that has given them a commitment. The rest of them, they've got a commitment from all the subs that they will utilize.
Anybody from the city want to speak on this?
There's Cody, if you have any, yes.
Yeah, sure. So I think what we're doing is for this first batch of vendors that we're trying to get approval through the EORC is that they have commitments from both MBE and firms. A lot of them are certified themselves. So that would be the first batch. And then for the others of the remaining that are not including this, but the 50 that we're trying to get through, I believe Chaku Paza and their team are working to get participation. So they would be brought before the commission at another time. But the ones you're looking at here have both MBE and MBE partnerships.
Pretty good to me. What are they? Okay, so these companies, I mean, is this basic maintenance of your network, patching? What are you hiring these?
Yeah, so there's
companies
listed for approximately 30 categories of various IT work. So
okay,
we have that list available.
So if you go down this sheet, the specialty areas, it varies from providing staffing to data centers and networking, IT professional services, case management, then geospatial technologies. There's data development, GIS services.
Okay, I get it. Commissioners? You have questions? No? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thanks. Second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. All in favor to approve these to move forward, say aye.
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 All right, thanks you guys.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it.
So we have the next batch now, which includes 3. There are 3 companies here, and out of these 3 companies, the primes themselves are MBEs, but they've also enlisted themselves as a sub-consultant. So this was something that we wanted to bring before the commission, if that is something which is doable. I mean, other than themselves, they've enlisted other MBE or WBs too. But like this one, Cabby Lynn Jones has just themselves listed as a sub-consultant too. So they're a prime and a sub.
Well, I mean, I'm just guessing, this is my like educated guess on this, is that they put themselves in there to, cast a wider net. If they do not get chosen as the prime, then they want to be still in the race for the contract and getting something of this contract. Do you understand what I mean? Because they're a DBE, so.
Right.
I get it. So look how they did it. They listed themselves as a prime as an MBE. They probably have dual certification, and then as a sub, they listed themselves as a WBE.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Stellar's both. But that's just giving themselves as a company more opportunity to get work. And I certainly am not going to fault them for that.
Okay.
Yeah, she was one of
Makes
the.
sense to you guys, how I just explained that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that, Aaron. She was actually featured one of the Pittsburgh Pirates Small Business Owners of the Month, and she's one of our companies stemming from RCI as well. So
Okay.
I'm glad you gave that explanation in terms of, what she's trying to do. Basically.
Right. Yeah, you got to cast a wider net.
Mhm.
Right.
James, it's
and
good that you're familiar with some of these, James.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see them on the contract.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah, it's kind of relieving.
Yeah,
Makes
we
it-
would not count both of them. They would not be able, if they were the prime, they would not be able to be the sub. And so that's how that works.
You're scrolling it up and it looks like they're trying to double dip. That's not what I guarantee you that's not what's happening. They're just making sure that they are covering all their bases to be considered.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have any more questions regarding this? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks, Andrea. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks, Jenna. All right.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, thank you. So we have the next batch, which has this has about 8 ITQ companies, and 4 of them are MWBEs. All of them have enlisted their subs here, which are certified MWBEs, but none of them have a commitment. And they've given a reason why they don't have a commitment either. One of them explains they have a network of MWBEs, but they are committed to working with, but when they submitted the contract, they didn't get a commitment. Then they're still in discussion, and what most of them say is that they are not sure about the scope of work until the work order comes out. So that is why they don't have the commitment.
I understand that. Do these primes know whether regardless if they're a minority owned business or not, or a woman owned business, do they know that they are supposed to choose from the ITQ approved businesses that are on here? Ask in the city.
Sure. So is the question that the Department of Innovation and Performance, our IT department, select from this ITQ list? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were under the impression that this ITQ list was created and all of these businesses were approved based on that they are certified, they have their certification and all of that stuff, that if a prime needed participation, they were to refer to the already approved list. So she just said that the one prime, when they were questioned about it, said that they have their own group of minority owned businesses that they work with. But I was under the impression that wouldn't matter. They have to choose from the approved ITQ businesses.
Yeah.
Did you guys understand it that way too? Where did I get that?
I think
Right?
I kind of understood it the same way, but I think also this was kind of a further, if they claim that they didn't have a place to search for, that this was kind of a given, well, here's a list, and then what is your due diligence as far as reaching out to them? So as far as the groups that they might already use, if they're certified, then that's kind of where we would end up reviewing it anyways.
Correct. Good point. Chuck, do you have something to say about it?
I have kind of mixed concerns about it. I understand what's going on and what they're trying to do. However, they should have something listed there that they have a commitment with these people, I think. Because right now, without that commitment, they get to choose anybody they want. and they may not be certified. Is
Yeah,
that correct, Cody?
Themselves are a minority or woman-owned business, correct?
Right. They could be woman or minority, but they don't have to be certified.
No, they're, I mean, they're as primes on,
Right.
they are certified. Or they want to
Right,
be.
they are prime, they're certified primes,
Uh-huh.
but they should show, you know, although we award to certified primes, we also ask them to look for other MBE and WBE companies certified.
Right. Just,
Because it's,
Cody?
in the past, like we saw, we approved, it wasn't in all instances, but some instances we had some of the primes enlisting some subs originally that were approved, and then when the work order came along, some of those subs weren't there. I mean, and some of them not even MWBEs. So, I mean, even if they like change the sub, but as long as it's an MWBE, I guess we are okay with that, right?
Yes, I agree. Yes, we're okay with that. When they change out, as long as they change out with certified WBEs, MWBEs, yes.
You two monitor this, correct? I mean, this isn't something that we need, that the commission needs to be concerned with.
No, you don't have to vote on this one. This is just an update because they're going to have to come back with, on this one with some commitment, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, if they're switching out, hopefully they're just switching out the sub for a higher percentage anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, hopefully that's the goal, yes.
It would be hard for them to even, without the scope of work, they can't even put it out to bid. Okay. I don't know. Are we supposed to vote on this, Chuck? What's up? Yes?
No, I think, Cody, can we hold this till the next meeting, till we see if we can get a commitment from some of these people?
Yes, so it was my understanding that wherever a firm who is submitting their application to be approved for an ITQ contract, that if they don't have both minority and women disadvantaged business entities partnerships along with their application, then they are not going to be considered for approval.
Oh, okay.
The first list that we've gone through, that we've shown that these firms have commitments of both. These looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, that they cover one aspect of that, correct? So these would be instances where we need to reach out and make sure that they have with those. So I wouldn't think that these would be approved today.
Okay, we're not doing anything with this one then. We'll see if it can get more meat on the bone.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on, we have one on this, which is this company, Innovative Development, is as a WB itself, but the primes, we don't have their certifications. We reached out to them and we didn't get any response yet. So,
so in this
We haven't got their certification that they are a prime yet on this one.
no, we have, yes, it's a WBE itself, but
Right.
the subs, we don't have the certifications.
They don't have the certifications.
Yes.
So this is another one that we'll have to work with to see if those companies are actually seeking out their certifications. So this is nothing we need to vote on today either.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so the next one is, there are about 10 primes here, and but none of them have sub-consultants.
No, Cody, now, when these companies, although we have them in our system, but they do not have any sub-consultants listed or confirmed, my understanding is they will not receive any work. Is that correct?
Yeah, they wouldn't. So I mean, correct. Short answer, correct. I don't think we would wait for them to work with their team.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll reach out to them and give them maybe a time limit on when they can let us know if these people are getting their certification or not? Is that okay with the commission if we do that?
Yes. I'd say yes.
Okay, we'll do that with this batch then also.
Yeah, and then this just the last batch, which the primes themselves are not certified in this instance, and neither do they have subs. So
Well, was this just not ready to be presented to us? I mean, I'm confused.
So, well, these are the ones they wanted to bring 50, Commissioner, and we broke them down into groups where we can.
Oh, that's me.
Huh?
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that is AMCOM, the first one.
Yeah, they had 50 that they wanted to bring, but we broke them down, and the 20 are ready that you approved about 24 today actually. The other ones, we just wanted to know where we're at, and hopefully that we can get some certifications and some more updates on this to bring it back to you in July. I'm hoping.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll let them know that this is up. Because we've used Stacy, James, you know Stacy's trucking company. We've used her in the past. We definitely could get some participation on there. They're probably just unaware that they need to do this. We've had that contract. We've had that IT contract or that copier contract for a long time. It's not my account, so.
Right. And it's possibly some of these companies need to just renew their certifications.
Yeah.
That's possible also, so.
All right, great.
So just to reiterate, the idea was to present before the board, the firm of the 50 companies that have both participation. Then we can also show that there are approximately 25 or so that didn't submit commitments that are still kind of working to bring them before the commission. So.
Okay. Is that it for these?
Yeah, that's it for the ITQs for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Posna. Thank you, Cody. That's it for the meeting, guys. I don't have anything except to let you know that the next meeting is July 15th, Thursday. I am downtown today. I am not in our room today. I hope to be in our room next month, though, upstairs on 6th. So if you want to join me downtown, you'll be more than welcome to. I'm back in the office full time. So you can get in touch with me here now, and as you can hear anyway, that I'm coming in a little better.
Much better.
Chuck,
Yeah.
we would come to the same room, correct?
Yes, you would come to the same room.
Okay.
I'll let you know. I talked to Dave Finer and IP. They didn't have the room up and ready for today. They're doing some kind of cleaning in there. So hopefully next month we'll be able to reserve the room.
All right.
Chuck, I was gonna say, you think you could talk them into like a back to work brunch for us?
That would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice, James.
Yeah, although there's been a press release saying that boards and commissions, they will continue to meet online, but yes.
Yes. And I think everybody in the city is supposed to be back in September. Our office is coming back Monday. The mayor's office will be back in Monday. And then I think they're starting to phase them in the department or two every week.
Well, prior to everyone getting back, I won't be able to be on the call in July, but perhaps in August, Dollar Bank would be happy to cover a welcome back lunch for everyone. So we'll keep.
Oh, that would be nice.
Thank you. That's nice. That's awesome.
Andrew,
I would still like to get us a holiday party in, even if we do it virtually. I would like to get a holiday party in for sure.
I really like being on this commission. Cool.
Hey, we're past due all the holiday celebrations.
Yeah, we gotta make one big one to catch up.
That's right.
Agreed.
All right.
Okay, well, that's all I have, guys. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great holiday weekend.
Likewise.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.